Hi, welcome to It Doesn't Have to Be Perfect, a podcast where I talk about literally anything that's on my mind, and it's great because I'm in charge here. So, alrighty. So, it's been a week. It's Halloween week, essentially, and I just had a Halloween party this Saturday. I didn't think that, anyone would be down to like actually come out on Halloween because it's a Thursday this year that it lands on. So instead I threw something on Saturday and it was really fun. I decorated. There's still balloons everywhere. I have my spooky stuff up, spider webs. There's so much candy left over and drinks. There's so many drinks left over. I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself with that. Maybe save some for Thanksgiving. So that's fun. And yeah, it's been a very busy week because on top of that, I'm still on my last semester of my master's, and I feel like I've been saying that forever because it's so weird because it's divided into like two sections, right? The A courses and the B courses. And so then it's really fast paced. And so these couple of months, like even though I've been on my last semester, it's like it's been rotating with new classes. So it's been a lot of workload. And, on top of that, my internship and, other jobs and responsibilities, whatever. It's just a lot. But I know I can just tell that this is going to be a season where I'm going to look back on and be like, wow, there's a lot of growth that happened during that time because you were pushed to your limits. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get to the other side of this and graduate, dude, and just be done with it. But today we're talking about being perceived. And as someone who has a podcast, who has a YouTube channel and, posts regularly on Instagram, I don't think it's out of the realm to say that I like attention. I feel like anyone who puts themselves in the spotlight to an extent likes the attention, right? And that's not a bad thing. I don't think like wanting attention is a bad thing. I think it's when people try to manipulate a situation where they are the attention for the wrong reasons. That's when I think wanting to be perceived is bad. But yeah, today we're just going to talk about being perceived. And being perceived, again, like, there's a lot of people who will commit horrendous crimes, and their logic or reasoning behind their crimes is because they wanted to be noticed. They wanted to make a name for themselves, even if it was in the worst terms ever. They wanted to be seen. They wanted to be heard. They wanted, some attention to finally go to them. And so it's situations like that where you're like, okay, buddy, dude, come on, like that's not the greatest way to go about it. And there's other people that will do this by creating drama or creating a spectacle or just wanting to fight everyone for no reason. It's a tricky thing. Like, we all want to be perceived. We all want to be noticed and understood. Like, no one wants to be ignored in this world. No one, like, we thrive off of human connection. That's literally like how we're wired. Like, we just thrive on human connection. Like, we need each other. Okay, we need each other, and that's the reality of things. And even if you claim to be a lone wolf and walking your own path, okay, cool, dude, but like, yet like, you're not like out here like hunting for your food. Like, you go to the supermarket and like, how did you get the produce, that meat? Oh, well, other people, you depend on other people to do their job to make sure that food is at the grocery store that you can now buy. Like, we all depend on each other. I don't care how independent you think you are or whatever. Like, yes, you can be independent, but like, you have to realize that this whole system works because we all work to an extent. Like, we all work with each other. And, of course, we want to be understood and seen and heard. And when you're on social media, oof, does that really change things? Especially like if someone was to blow up, like literally any celebrity, any influencer will tell you that even being seen by too many people at once can be overwhelming. It can be actually very detrimental to mental health. And it's one of those things that, it's too much of a good thing, not a great thing. It's a tricky, slippery slope. again, I don't mind being perceived, but it's when those perceptions are morphed into something that is not actually who I am. And, that's where rumors come in. That's where other people's opinions come in. That's where just all this unwanted comments are like come into play. And I've, in my life, I've definitely been, I don't want to say victim to, because I never want to see myself as a victim in any situation, but I've definitely been on the other side of like receiving those comments and ideas that people had. And I kind of just want to go over a few examples so you guys know what I'm talking about. And like, it's not to like call out anyone, and it's not to, well, maybe it is a little bit actually. Maybe it is a little bit, but this is being perceived as a tricky thing, because there's times in your life that you want to hide away and not be seen by anyone, and sometimes you need those times to refresh and recharge yourself. But at the end of the day, like, we all share this earth and we all need each other. So you can't really hide forever. I mean, you could try, but like, I don't think you're going to be very successful. But yeah, so it's a tricky thing, like, especially like doing what I do now. And any artist will tell you, like any creator will tell you that, yes, it's good when you're getting people that follow you and listen to you. But there's also so many people that are just here to bring you down and just look at your stuff and don't understand it and will judge you on their biases and stuff. But I've definitely been perceived in the worst way possible. And, child stars have it rough, right? Because they're like sexualized and judged at a very young age. But I think I had like the second worst to that, or maybe the third, actually. No, I'm not going to put myself up that high. But when I was in high school, and I've talked about this a little bit before, I was a flirt, okay? Like, I was a flirt, and puberty hit, and I was like, I don't look too bad anymore, right? Like, in middle school, I was gross. But in high school hit, and I was like, okay, I feel a little more confident about myself. Like, I feel like I feel like I've grown into my body a little bit better, my face isn't too bad either, and I learned how to do my makeup, and I learned how to do my hair, and I learned how to dress and all that stuff, right? And so I was getting attention, and yes, I talked to several boys, and like, but like not a crazy amount. Like, there's only so much you can do in high school, and like in high school I had only been with one person, and that was Rob. We remember Rob, right, from a past story time. I had only been with him, intimately, and that was that. Like, I just was so like, always went back to him, even though it was toxic, back and forth, whatever. But because I, spoke to so many boys in high school, rumors would begin to spread because of that. Even though I didn't do anything with them, it was always, I would just hear stuff, that I was in a threesome, that I hooked up with this guy and that guy, and that I did this and I did that. And I'd be like, are you kidding me? Like, no, I've only been with that guy, unfortunately. Unfortunately for me, I've only been with that guy, And there's nothing even wrong. Like, okay, like, yeah, okay, I'm not even going to get in the bounds of like, what age is appropriate to have intimate relations with, people of the opposite sex. But like, I just received a lot of that, and it was not in a nice way. It wasn't like a, when homies high five each other, like guys in locker rooms. Like, it definitely wasn't like that. I was slut shamed like pretty bad at times, and I felt terrible about myself because I started to believe that, even though I knew that I wasn't doing anything inherently wrong. I was just talking to boys like every other teenage girl who is straight and likes boys does, like that's all that I was doing. It was very like innocent, and I was like 16, 17, like, bro, leave me alone. Like, I was just living my life, and I'm sorry that you don't got game, but I do. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not doing that. But yeah, and like, honestly, ever since then, like, I'm very like careful about who I judge, especially when it comes to topics like that, because I know that people will take something and like screw it up so bad, and like they'll run with it and they'll just tell everyone, and it's like, bro, like you don't even know the whole story. Like that's not even how it went. Like, what are you talking about? Like just lies and rumors and whatever, right? But I came out of the other side of it, and like I feel like in high school that was the worst thing that could happen, right, to a teenager. And so coming out of that, I'm just now very empathetic when I hear stories about other people. I'm like, are we sure though? Like, do we know both sides? Do we know the third perspective? Like, do we know actually everything that happened? Because like it's one thing to perceive a situation from the outside and to actually be in the situation yourself. It's very, very different because you don't know all the details, And recently, well, not recently, well, in the past year or so, right, I like kind of got triggered by a few things with my ex, right? Like he just told me some stuff that his friends had said that really hurt my feelings. Like there was this one time that we all took a trip to Sedona, and I was with his friends and his friends' friends, and we were all just going on a day trip or whatever. And I thought it went good. I had a great time. I got a lot of footage, and I was like really happy about that. I got some pictures, and I was like, cool, like this is fun, whatever. And then months later, he tells me that his friends thought that I was a little too close to one of the guy friends, right? And I was like, you mean the only other Mexican dude that listened to banda, and we were talking about banda? Like, okay, like I literally was just being nice. I was being nice. Like, and like I think because of my high school experience that like triggered something in me. I was like, how are they perceiving me? Like, do they actually think that I was trying to get with your friend's friend? Like, no, I'm dating you. What do you mean? Like, I was just so like annoyed at that. And to be honest, like I think it did trigger me, because I was like, I don't want you. Like, what? No, I'm with this dude over here, like right here, like 2 feet away. Like, but see, that's the unfortunate thing sometimes when you're nice to people, they'll just take it as something else, and you're like, no. And the fact that like it was more than a few of his friends who like perceived it as that, it did bug me. It did trigger me, and it probably wasn't as big of a deal as maybe I felt it was, but I don't know. I just was like, dude, no, I'm not interested. But again, because of my experience, I took that instance as like, you know what? They don't know me. I just had met them for the first time. They probably don't know that I'm just outgoing and friendly, as was my ex, at the time. Like, we were both very outgoing and friendly, even if it, sometimes people will perceive it as another thing, and they'll get excited, and they'll be kind of just like, I don't know, like they'll just be weird about it. And, and that's something that me and him have in common, that we are outgoing and outspoken, and we are just friendly people, right? And that can sometimes be construed and perceived into something else that it's not. And so I understand, but still like annoying. It's just annoying because you're just trying to live your life, and you're like, oh, should I not be nice to you? Should I be rude to you? Should I just not talk to you the entire time? Like, should I not talk to any guy of the opposite sex the entire trip, because then you're going to think I'm too friendly and that I don't know. But at the end of the day, no matter what the outside perception is, I know myself, and I know me, and I know those were not my intentions. I know what my intentions are and what my values are. Like, and, still to this day, like I'll hear stuff that other people think of me, especially, being in a breakup situation. You'll hear the ideas and perspectives of the friends, and like, oh my God, like she is such a jerk, and like all this stuff. And I understand that my actions sometimes are not the greatest, because I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. And sometimes you can say stuff in the heat of the moment, but like, I know myself overall. I'm a good human. I would like to think so. I think I'm a good human. I don't do anything too crazy out here. I'm just living my life. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to get my degree. I'm just trying to make fun little videos on the internet. Like, I'm not over here like trying to intentionally hurt people. And I think that's what keeps me like grounded. And also, a part of me, if you watch Gossip Girl, like that last episode when they talk about how Dan is Gossip Girl, which is, don't even get me started on that. But how his first post was of Serena, right? And there's some girls like talking about how, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Like they're talking about her like she's like in a wet dress and whatever. And the other girl goes like, that's the point. You're no one until you're talked about. So all that has always stuck in the back of my head, because no matter what people say, no matter what horrible things I hear about myself from other people that they think of me, I know that at the end of the day, you're still talking about me. My name is still in your mouth. And, I feel like a part of me is like, okay, that's fine. Like, that's fine. Like, it's not all bad, right? Like, sure, you can think I'm a shitty person. You can call me all this and that. But at the end of the day, like, my name is still in your mouth, and you're just promoting me at this point. You're just getting my name out there. So thank you for that. It's free promo at the end of it all. No, but that's on my petty note. But on a serious note, like, I know myself, I know my values, I know my intentions, I know I'm not a bad person, and that's what matters. I know me better than anyone else. Like, I know myself, like, and that's something that no one can take away from you. Like, like, no matter what the perception is, yourself. You're good. That you're trying your best. And sometimes people just don't see, people don't even know you most of the time too. Like, they don't even know you. They don't like know you on a day-to-day basis. They just maybe met you one time and then have this assumption of you, and they just run with it. And unfortunately, that's how the world works at times. It shouldn't, but most people are just very quick to judge. And yeah. So if you're on the other side of that, of hearing a nasty rumor of, being treated less than because of a perception that someone has of you, just remember, like, hey, at least they're talking about you. No, for real. Like, just know that, like, it's unfortunate, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, because not everyone's gonna understand you. Not everyone wants to take the time to understand you and know you, and that's okay. And it's not okay that they're talking about you and that they're bringing you down and they're spreading rumors, but at the end of the day, they're the ones wasting their breath talking about you, and you're not. You're chilling, you're living your life, you're minding your business, girl. Like, take that as a win. Again, like, no one can take that away from you. Like, who you actually are as a person, like, your family, your loved ones, they know who you actually are. And all these people outside they're just noise. So, like, don't let it get to you. But yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough, and I'm gonna end it there. So thank you so much for listening and for watching. And dude, we're almost at 200 subscribers on YouTube, so go ahead and subscribe. Come on, like, just do it. Just do it. Just join the fam. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.